Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers: will Nina and Portia live after Drew vents his anger? According to General Hospital spoilers, Drew Quartermaine's furious outburst following Willow Corinthos' altar rejection this week has him aiming for Nina Reeves and Portia Robinson, and Port Charles is a whirlwind of rage. Drew is determined to win Willow back by revealing their plot in retaliation against Nina, whom he believes told Willow the truth about their liaison, because he believes they drugged him with ketamine. Willow's departure was prompted by Curtis Ashford's shocking revelation of Nina's infidelity and Portia's complicity in blackmail. However, will Drew's retaliation ruin Nina and Portia's lives or backfire? Drew's rage ignites a vendetta after Curtis revealed the truth about Drew's relationship with Nina last summer. Willow abandoned him at the altar, shattering Drew's world, and GH viewers are always discussing his vindictive nature. Drew is out for blood now that it's safe to target Willow's mother, since he believes Nina and Portia drugged him with ketamine to make him appear like a party boy who was seen on camera with call girl Jacinda. His scheme? Revealed their plan to destroy Portia's career as the hospital's co-chief of staff and Nina's chances of developing a relationship with Willow. It's important to note that there aren't many supporters on the internet urging Drew and Willow to get back together. Others, however, think he is insane, particularly after Willow lost her children as a result of his lies about Michael Corinthos. Will Drew's anger be justified? Drew's deadly counterattack against Nina and Portia. Drew may soon accuse Nina and Portia of drugging him. We can see Portia perspiring, aware that her marriage and her work at the hospital are on the line, while Nina, looking pale and defensive, denies the ketamine scheme. By revealing their treachery, Drew may be able to persuade Willow, but Nina's evasion and Portia's anxiety may cause further issues. Drew may bury them with his leverage, such as Jacinda's proof. Are Nina and Portia doomed, or will they outsmart him? Will Drew lose everything or win Willow? Nina and Portia's futures are at stake as Drew goes on a vindictive rage. As he begins to appear somewhat less horrible than Willow's own mother, will Drew's plan to reveal their ketamine scam win Willow over, or will it backfire and cost him more than his botched wedding? Tracy Quartermaine's mockery of Drew's demise raises the possibility that his fixation will explode the more he tries to divert Willow's focus from the broken heart he left her. Will Drew bring Nina and Portia down with him, or do you believe they can make it through this? General Hospital spoilers reveal that Willow's quest for her children may be derailed by her desire to exact revenge on Drew. According to General Hospital spoilers, Willow Corinthos is a woman who left Drew Quartermaine at the altar and saw his true nature, and she is now on a mission to get her children back. She is filled with remorse and anger after Drew's plots cost her custody of Wiley and Amelia Corinthos as well as her marriage to Michael Corinthos. She will gradually come to understand how much of what he has told her was untrue but still misled her as she works through everything. Willow's regrets are overwhelming her. Will her intense desire for vengeance against Drew, however, get in the way of her efforts to regain Michael's confidence and see her children? Willow's regret fuels a desperate mission after Curtis Ashford revealed Drew's betrayal. Willow's world fell apart, and her admirers are venting their true emotions about how sorry she is that she ever trusted him. She is devastated by the loss of her marriage and children, and she is now totally focused on getting back in touch with Michael. However, Michael is reluctant to allow Willow to return to Wiley and Amelia's life because their relationship, which was shattered by Drew's falsehoods, feels irreparable. Fans of GH seem to be divided. Some believe too much harm has been done, while others hope she will be saved. Is Willow's desire to see her children doomed from the beginning, or will Michael be moved by her regret? GH spoilers squeal revenge on Drew threatens Willow's focus. Willow will confront her suffering at Carly Spencer's front door and long after, as she is still caught between begging Michael for a shot with their children and planning retaliation against Drew. Her mother be damned, she struggles with fantasies of revealing Drew's plots, possibly even leaking them to the media. Some fans worry that her rage would ruin her tenuous relationship with Michael, who will undoubtedly be suspicious if he finds out she was responsible for that July 4th prank with Daisy Corinthos Gilmore. Reeling from her personal rift with Willow, Nina Reeves may interfere and exacerbate the situation. Can Willow control her anger so she can concentrate on her children? Will Willow's redemption be ruined by her rage? Willow will stand up for her children, but her desire for vengeance against Drew will always be present. Will she recover Michael's trust and reunite with Wiley and Amelia, or will she be consumed by her grudge against the Erie congressman she almost married? A part of me wants to support Willow and believe that, now that she is aware of the truth, she can face this challenge head-on, but I also remember that she is an unstable woman on the verge of losing her mind, stealing babies, playing with emotions, and putting her children's needs last when her own feelings are involved. If she doesn't get it together, she can wind up further separating herself from Michael and her kids. Spoilers, as Lulu and Dante struggle to be together, will Rocco be lost to Liesl? This week, Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri are holding on to their son Rocco Falconeri, but it's making him closer to Liesl Albrecht, according to General Hospital spoilers, which show that Port Charles is a tense place for families. Laura Spencer cautioned Lulu against denying Rocco access to Liesl because she feared it might incite disobedience and curiosity about Britt Westbourne, who is now verified to be alive. Will Lulu follow Laura's advice or discover the hard way as Rocco moves closer to Liesl's orbit now that Britt's homecoming has upended everything? Laura's warning falls on deaf ears. Lulu's protective hold on Rocco is getting stronger, but Laura's request that he get in touch with Liesl is probably going to be disregarded, so we can't help but wonder what the consequences might be. Laura worries that by preventing Liesl, Rocco's interest in Britt will grow. This interest will only be heightened if anyone finds out about Jason Morgan's appearance at the Paris airport, and even more so if they discover Britt is still alive. Fans fear that Lulu's control, which is reminiscent of her own previous resistance, may backfire as Rocco's questioning concerning Britt intensify in response to Liesl's stories. Is Rocco's rebellion being set up by Lulu, or will she relax? Rocco's pull on Liesl gets stronger. Rocco, attracted by stories of Britt's bravery, is likely to sneak Liesl some more visits. Liesl recounts recollections of Britt's life and a version of the personality Liesl claims her daughter boasted about, which will aggravate Lulu if she sees them again. Facebook fans believe that once Britt's survival is proved, Rocco's infatuation will grow and he will be more inclined to oppose Lulu and Dante. Liesl will undoubtedly encourage Rocco and try to get him to meet Britt. Will Laura's stubbornness push Rocco farther into Liesl's world, or will Lulu be able to see her wisdom in the interim? Will Britt's legacy cause Lulu to lose Rocco? Rocco is moving toward Liesl, which could cause their family to fall apart, while Lulu and Dante are having difficulties. Will Rocco learn the hard way as Britt's homecoming feeds his rebellion, or will Lulu heed Laura's warning and allow him to explore his bond with Liesl? We fully appreciate Lulu's protective attitude, but we also want to urge her to settle down. Nevertheless, she might ultimately pay a price for her wish to dominate her son. Spoilers for General Hospital, Kin Shriner has been dealing with serious drama. We haven't seen this beloved painting in a while, and there's a good reason for that. Naturally, we are referring to Kin Shriner of General Hospital, who is most recognized for his portrayal as Scotty Baldwin on the popular ABC soap opera. Shriner recently shared on X that he had an ankle operation a year ago, which he claims was a complete failure. He needed 6 months to recuperate. He is currently recovering after the successful second surgery. Naturally, this explains why Scotty hasn't been seen on the canvas for such a long period. There was even conjecture that Kin might have been cut off from the soap opera, but it appears that hasn't happened at all. His personal drama has been his only concern. The attractive actor posted a video of himself outlining his recuperation over the past few months. News flash from Scotty at General Hospital not just eating glazed donuts, he's working hard to fix foot and get back to Vespa and all other things, was the caption he added as well. Is Scotty going to return? Naturally, Kin's clip generated a lot of discussion on the internet. Wow, I hope he recovers well, some of his admirers even wrote in their comments. I had a botched foot operation that left me without treatment for nearly a year due to COVID, resulting in chronic nerve damage. I wish him success and a quick recovery. Additionally, a fan said, "Oh, I thought he posted and confirmed that he was also written off the show a while ago." Another fan remarked, "I hope we find out that Scotty is back scheming with Heather Weber, again played by Robin Matson." Kai also occupied his dressing room. We all know that being written off may alter. I hope Kin hasn't strained relations with ABC. Spoilers, Jason's visit to Elizabeth's may make houseguest Willow uneasy. According to General Hospital spoilers, Willow Corinthos, who has been hiding out at Elizabeth Baldwin's house since her life fell apart, could be exposed if Jason Morgan shows up there later this week. Jason wants Elizabeth's opinion on a personal issue, but his presence could awaken Willow's long-suppressed guilt about her abduction of Daisy Corinthos Gilmore on July 4, when she was determined to harm Michael Corinthos. Will Willow's attempts to win back Michael's trust and see her children be undermined by this lingering regret? Willow's past sin resurfaces. Some fans are raving about Willow's frail state, fearing that she would get nervous about being discovered after Jason knocked on her door unexpectedly. Willow used to feel safe and unbeatable while she was with Drew Quartermaine, but that feeling has now faded. It could evoke memories of that crazy night to see Jason linked to the kidnapping of Daisy, a desperate deed brought on by Drew's series of betrayals that cost her her children. Willow is desperate to start over with Michael, but her guilt, compounded by the knowledge that she was tricked into ending her marriage and that everyone else could see it, is about to explode. Will this encounter force her to confess and risk losing everything, or will she be able to maintain her composure? Willow's anxiety and Elizabeth's support in a difficult situation. Elizabeth could lend Willow a sympathetic ear while Jason lingers, his inquiries concerning a previous matter, such as Britt Westbourne's passing, agitating the atmosphere. As Jason's presence pulls her baby caper back to the forefront of her exhausted thoughts, picture Willow clutching her coffee mug, her heart racing. Do you feel anxious? Willow may spiral out of control because she fears her guilt will ruin her custody battle for Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, especially since the hearing is only a few months away. Elizabeth, a dependable friend, could attempt to support her, but Willow's secret weighs heavily. Will she lose her temper under duress? Is Willow able to maintain her children's course? Jason's arrival puts Willow's sanity in jeopardy as she tries to regain Michael's respect and spend more time with her children. He simply cannot comprehend the extent to which she had been captivated by Drew. Will her hopes of atonement be ruined by her remorse for Daisy's abduction? Willow's journey is risky since her heart is heavy and Michael's trust is brittle. What do you think will happen? Just when Jason's world was starting to come together again, another loss threatened to tear it apart once again. There were a lot of hushed conversations and quick glances in Port Charles, which is always full of secrets and murmurs, and with good reason. Rumors had started to circulate that WSB Chief Jack Brennan might be dead. For the majority, this could have meant a change in leadership or a reorganization. However, it was emotional, intimate, and transformative for Carly. The unofficially confirmed news came as a reminder of all the heartbreaks she had barely endured. Jason, Sonny, and even Anna had cautioned Carly that her relationship with Jack would turn out to be more complicated than she had anticipated. In addition to being intense, captivating, and dangerous, Jack had showed her something genuine, unadulterated emotion, a departure from the pattern of deceit and power struggles she was accustomed to. That was the reason his loss was so painful. He had served as both her awakening and her getaway. And he was gone now. When Jason discovered Carly sitting by herself at the Metro Courts bar, her palm clenched over a half-empty glass, he knew she was on the verge of a downward spiral. Although she didn't cry, at least not in public, Jason was well aware of her sorrow. He could see it in her inability to look him in the eyes, the shaking of her fingers, and her final whisper, "He was supposed to come back to me." Jason didn't respond. Nothing could be said. Rather, he sat silently next to her, their silence speaking louder than words could. However, Carly's destruction went beyond her personal life. Jason had a suspicion that Jack's death wasn't clean as the facts started to come together. The sum of too many things was off. Jack had had a falling out with Jocelyn, a younger agent. Through back channels, Jason had heard rumors that Jack had enlisted her without Carly's knowledge. Jason was struck by a sudden realization. Jocelyn may have been involved in something much more sinister than anybody had anticipated. And now Carly was not only mourning a loved one but also struggling with the possibility that he had led her daughter into the very danger she had attempted to shield her from. Jason made an effort to emotionally separate himself. He was forced to. His thoughts had been divided ever since Britt had returned, or at least ever since he believed he had seen her. He had thought he had lost the lady he loved forever, but now she was back in his life. He didn't merely think she was still alive. He had seen her. Her voice had reached him. In the airport, he had almost touched her hand before she vanished like smoke once more. The stranger, the same man who had sat next to him on the airline and subsequently at the Metro Court pool, then arrived. The man had continued to watch him, Carly, and Rocco. Jason never made snap judgments, but his intuition was always right. It was no accident that man was there. He had asked Spinelli in a low voice, encouraging him to see past the Metro Courts and the airport's surveillance. Jason's discomfort was only heightened by what he discovered. No database had the man's name. They cleaned, sterilized, or faked his identity. A glimmer of recognition appeared when he handed Dante the picture. Dante had also spotted him outside Liesel's office. And Liesel, when the stranger walked by, she had frozen, her eyes staring at him almost fearfully. Jason realized then that Britt's reappearance was more than just a coincidence. Yes, she was alive, but she had been kept that way by someone. Someone with a strategy. Carly became more erratic as Jason attempted to maintain equilibrium amid the insanity that was erupting around him. Jason had witnessed her grieving change from sadness to rage in the past. Carly's grief ripped through anything and everyone who tried to stand in her way, like a cyclone. He sensed her creeping closer once more, viewing him as her anchor and constant rather than just a buddy. And Jason was having trouble, in spite of himself. There had always been room in his heart for Carly. However, much have changed since then. Not since Britt. Everything changed the night Jason thought he saw Britt. He was undone by that sudden flash of realization. All of the evenings he spent by her side while she was ill, the silent fortitude she displayed in the face of death, the vulnerability she shared with him alone, it all came rushing back. He was unable to let it go. The emotions were genuine. And he needed to know if she had made it out alive or if she had stayed away. However, Jason was suddenly torn between two strong, diametrically opposed affections as Carly stood in front of him, leaning into his stillness and silently requesting that he move closer. Carly wanted him to be her shield once more because she was broken but blazing with rage. She had always done so. However, if Britt was really alive, she stood for serenity, which Jason had never experienced before. Silent, uncomplicated, unyielding peace. The kind that wasn't burdened by expectations. Carly changed how she behaved during the next few days. As her suspicions grew, she questioned Jason more about his whereabouts, his sightings, and his intended target. Once, when Jason had been following up on a lead regarding the mysterious man, she even followed him all the way to the hospital basement. He sternly yet kindly challenged her. "Carly, you don't get to do this." "Not now," he said softly to her. She said, "I'm not trying to mess anything up," but her eyes were telling. Jason moaned, his chest aching more and more, "I just don't want to lose you." "I'm not leaving you." She agreed, but he knew that wasn't the end of it. "But you have to let me figure this out." Carly never relinquished her desires. Not entirely. Jason discovered more alarming information as the Jack death probe went on. Jack's own agency had been investigating him. Encrypted documents revealed covert activities involving citizens of Port Charles, including Sunny, Anna, and even Elizabeth. However, the file with Britt's name on it was the most startling of all. She had been listed as a protected asset, a defector, and subsequently assumed deceased, according to the WSB data. For hours, Jason gazed at the file. Her death had been staged. Someone has the authority to conceal her from everyone, including her own mother. And Jack Brennan may have been that person. Jason was hit like ice water by the twist. What was Jack's ultimate goal if he had concealed Britt, exploited her, shielded her, or both? Why was he now dead? Jason developed a fresh perspective on Carly's sorrow. But what if Jack had told Carly lies about everything, not just about enlisting Jocelyn? Perhaps Carly was grieving more than just a partner she had lost. Perhaps she was coming to the realization that she had never known the man well. To her credit, Carly resumed building walls. She stopped interacting with Jason, stopped inquiring about his whereabouts, and even took a few days off from the Metro Court. Jason, however, didn't believe the quiet. Carly was generally planning something while she was quiet. She was, too. Late one evening, Spinelli called Jason, sounding frightened. "Dude, she's investigating WSB records. She is attempting to discover who else Jack had tabs on by using my backdoor access." Jason commanded, "Stop her," but Spinelli paused. "It's too late, in my opinion. She had already taken Britt's file." Jason sensed the walls moving once more. Carly was sitting in the dark, reading about Britt's abduction, her protected asset status, and the fact that she had survived while Jason grieved for her. He could already see it. Carly also believed that neither Jack nor the WSB would be held accountable for that treachery. Britt would take the brunt of it. It was not long before the dispute arose. Carly stated, "I saw it, as she entered Jason's apartment without permission. I witnessed her actions." "She did nothing, Carly," Jason responded, but his tone was worn out. "She gave the impression that she was deceased. You endured hell. All of us did. And now she simply reappears?" After all, Jason remained silent. He was unable to. Since even though Carly's focus was misguided, his wrath was justified since he recognized the agony was genuine. "She's not worthy of you," Carly said. Jason stood there, caught between the past and the present, saying, "She never did." And he was unsure of what would happen next for the first time in his life. Not because Carly wasn't loved by him, but since Britt had already captured his heart, and he wasn't prepared to let it go. The mysterious man, waiting for his next move, watched them still somewhere in the shadows. General Hospital spoilers, Ferncliff waits while Willow loses it over Drew's most recent mind games? According to General Hospital spoilers, Willow Tate might lose it if Drew Kane tries to manipulate her in order to get her back. However, he might be seeking retribution rather than a reconciliation. Is Willow going to Ferncliff, anyway? Willow Tate is hanging by a thread. Willow appeared to be doing well in the episode that aired on July 30th. The impact a day without Drew can have on a woman's mental health is astounding. Who can forget Willow's tantrum when she learned she was no longer the parent of Wiley and Amelia Corinthos? Not to mention that she stalked tiny Daisy Gilmore and spent time in the hospital after that? However, after she left Drew at the altar and found herself at Carly Spencer's house, hoping Michael Corinthos would let her see the children, she went crazy during the July 29th show. When Carly dragged Willow into a mirror to show her what Wiley and Amelia would be staring at and how painful it may be for them, Willow became a little more aware of her lunacy. Willow might lose it if one more of her buttons pushed in the wrong direction because she had been acting so irrationally. Before the nice nurse damages herself or someone else, someone might decide that Willow needs to go to Ferncliff if she loses it again. Although Drew is aware of Daisy's stalking, what could he do to provoke Willow? What if he uses Daisy's stalking as leverage to blackmail Willow? Given that the visitation rights hearing is set for October, Willow is aware that if he exposes the truth, she could permanently bid Wiley and Amelia farewell. The irony of Drew exposing Willow is that, barring some extraordinary proof, which now looks to be 50-50, no one would probably believe him. However, given Willow's fragile state and how strongly it is tied to her children and having access to them, she might suffer a severe breakdown, which might be the reason she committed to Ferncliff in the first place. Will Willow be attending a mental health treatment program in Ferncliff? Michael rejects Willow, Liz takes a big chance for Jason, and more. Carly had doubts about Jocelyn's romantic life, Anna and Dante opened out to each other, Michael shut down a desperate Willow's pleadings, Drew offered a ceasefire to Curtis, Jason's quest for answers led him to Elizabeth's door, and more. To learn how it all transpired, continue reading. Notice of rejection. Willow informed Michael that he had been correct about Drew all along at the Quartermaine home. Instead of gloating, Michael apologized to her for Drew's lack of honesty and forewarned her that he had exploited Willow in ways she was unaware of. Willow steeled herself. Michael revealed that he had never been aware of her presence when she had visited him in Germany. He clarified that he would have liked to visit her because he had been hurting and lonely. The receptionist's false statement that he didn't wish to receive her visit perplexed her. Willow realized with horror that Drew had told the receptionist to prevent them from meeting. If they had been able to sit down together back then, Michael and Willow agreed, they probably could have figured out what was best for their children. Willow pointed out that they were now in the same room, her eyes gleaming with tears. "Please," she said. "Can we work together to decide what to do with our children?" Willow didn't understand why Michael was so adamant on adhering to the court's decision exactly, implying that he was only doing so because it gave him everything he desired. Michael retreated and informed her, "It's too late." "Avoid doing that," he retorted. "This was not my intention." Willow became agitated and begged him to collaborate with her on a new agreement that the court could approve. "I apologize, Willow," he answered. Willow was shocked and offended and wanted to know how long Michael would punish her. "I don't want the kids to see you." She was not suitable for Wiley and Amelia at the moment, he said, refuting the accusation. "I can tell you from experience, when you get burned, you need to heal," Michael stated, acknowledging Willow's feelings of betrayal from the person she trusted the most. "And it requires time." "How long?" she cried. As he reaffirmed that she was not ready to be a father in her current state, Michael shed a tear. Willow spit out that she would never forget how he had rejected her when she begged to see her kids. She stormed out, grabbing her purse. During record time at Liz's, Drew persuaded Elizabeth that assisting Willow in getting back together with her kids was his top concern. Liz suggested that before he answered the knock at her door, he should distance himself from his frail ex. Her unexpected visitor? Jason, who did not enjoy seeing his twin. Jason was accused of following Drew right away. Jason volunteered to wait outside and retorted that he was there to see Liz. "It's time for you to go," she said, beckoning Jason inside, but not before pleading with Jason to talk to Michael on Willow's behalf. Drew left without saying anything more after Jason yelled that Willow was being prevented from seeing her children because he had torn her life apart, and now she's stuck picking up the pieces of a life that you destroyed. Danger zone. On a morning when their home was in a state of disarray brought on by the outback, Anna attempted to set up a meeting with Emma and Gio in order to create a timetable for the dog's care. Emma stated that her commitment to Professor Dalton prevented her from attending the meeting tonight. Dante was standing there when Gio threw open the door to go to work. Before Gio left for work with Emma and the dog, the foursome engaged in a brief conversation about Outback and an awkward encounter between Dante and Gio regarding his new living situation. After they were alone, Anna told Dante that she had discovered how much the two men shared in common after spending time with Gio. "Really? Well, that's cool," Dante remarked, regretting that he hadn't had more time to get to know his new kid because Gio would always leave a room as he entered. Dante informed Anna that Rocco had contacted Albrecht after discovering details regarding his birth and Brit's involvement. When Anna found out that Albrecht had returned to Port Charles, she was shocked. Dante revealed how their connection had become strained as a result of Rocco not hearing the tale of his birth from Dante and Lulu. "I've about all the uncertainty I can handle," Dante groaned, referring to the circumstances surrounding Rocco and his separation from Gio. The conversation shifted to Dante's newfound knowledge of the courier. Anna saw that Dalton was staying in the Metro Court, exactly like the courier had been. She told Dante about Emma's dismissal from her California college and expressed her belief that Emma is attempting to expose Dalton's unlawful animal experiments at PCU. Dante concurred that the entire issue was related to Jocelyn and the WSB. Anna was concerned that Emma was going to get herself into a situation she can't get out of, so she really needed to find out what Dalton was up to. Dante promised to provide Anna with the information she required. She expressed her appreciation, particularly considering that his research was not official police business and that he had had a less than positive experience with the WSB. Dante acknowledged that it had been awful, but he would do everything in his power for Emma and Anna because they had been amazing to Gio. "I'm really afraid Emma might find something that could kill her," Anna said. Pool Sharks Jocelyn informed Vaughn about the tracker's absence and eventual return at the Metro Court pool. When Carly arrived, she gave the fictitious couple's apparently comfortable moment a sidelong glance. She took her daughter into her office for a private conversation. Joss was questioned by Carly about how well she knew her new suitor, whom she believed to be too elderly for her. Joss disapproved of the concept. After speaking with Anna, Carly said that she was unsure if Joss could trust Vaughn. When Gio, Emma, and Outback reached the pool deck, Carly declared, "He's not worth your time." If Vaughn was matching Emma and Joss against each other. Vaughn was lounging on a chaise when the dog flew off and leaped up on him. Vaughn found the furry interloper charming. Emma didn't want to talk to Vaughn, so she asked Gio to go get the dog. Gio questioned why, but the man in question walked back with Outback in his arms before she could respond. Vaughn apologized to Emma for what had transpired with Joss, and Gio excused himself. Emma told him she was all right and that she believed he and Joss were meant to be. Give peace a chance? Stella visited Curtis at work, claiming that Trina and Kai were meant to be together and asking why they had broken up. KG, Curtis mentioned that Trina and Kai had different points of view on a particular topic. Stella suggested that they cooperate in order to facilitate a reconciliation between the Trina and Kai. On the pool deck, Drew saw Martin and revealed to the lawyer he knew that Willow had been informed of his affair with Nina. Curtis was the one. He became enraged. Curtis and Stella entered as if at the same moment, carrying on their discussion concerning Trina. Stella was informed by Curtis that he would not be acting as a matchmaker. That was okay with Stella, she would manage without his assistance. Then, from the other side of the deck, Curtis saw Drew. Drew told Martin that he was amazed that Curtis had blabbed to Willow in order to get revenge. Stella mentioned that she had heard of Willow abandoning Drew at the altar when she noticed Curtis glancing in Drew's direction. Drew went over to their table and requested a quiet conversation with Curtis. Stella complied, and Drew offered his formerly best friend a truce. Curtis questioned whether Drew would give up the blackmail paper he was holding above Portia's head. "I'll think about it," Drew said. Then Curtis and Drew decided to maintain the peace. The two men moved to Stella and Martin. After reminding Martin to submit his 1040, Stella and Curtis left. 1040? What's that about? As he and the lawyer sat down again, Drew asked. Stella helped Martin get through a difficult insurance scenario after he hurt his back and the hospital refused to treat him. Martin called Stella an angel. It seems as though Drew stored that information for potential future use. He went on to accuse Martin of being dishonest when he declared a truce with Curtis. He said, "I was playing the long game." Going steady, Michael informed Carly about what had transpired with Willow when he visited her workplace. Michael said that Willow had been like the old Willow, the Willow I knew at one point during his talk with his ex, but he insisted that she shouldn't be around Wiley and Amelia for the time being. He also said that when he had denied her what she wanted, Willow had reverted to being desperate and irrational. Michael admitted that he had no idea if or when Willow will ever be well enough to interact with the children. Carly drew her distressed kid into her embrace. Willow came back to Liz's and admitted that she had seen Michael, who was adamant about denying her access to the children. "Rick was correct," Willow said. She stated, "I have to show the world that I'm stable and strong and a good mother, so that no one could take her children away from her ever again." Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.